Good morning. It looks a little windy there this morning. I saw the trees blowing.
Yeah, it's windy and it's raining, and it's been raining since, about last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I remember that. I was there in the summer, and yeah, it was, it was still amazing, but like the tree behind you when we're there in the in the winter is like has no leaves, right? And now it's like this huge lush bush, yeah. But with that comes more bugs too.
Yes. More spiders, more definitely interesting creatures.
I remember that. Yeah.
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 I had to move rooms because I had aunts insisting on living in my computer
Oh.
and my stuff. And I was like, okay, I think I need to move rooms. Not to be high maintenance, but I'm not really willing to share.
Yeah. It's weird how they like electronics, isn't it?
Oh,
Oh.
it is. And I had not seen that before. And it was kind of like a horror movie when I lifted up the top of my computer and these ants started coming out the keys.
Gross. That's terrible.
It was pretty nasty. So I ended up putting it in the freezer for about half an hour.
Wow.
I figured either way, it could go one way or the other. But either way,
yeah.
Hi. I have to say, this is the part that I miss at Anamaya is like I'm always the first one up. I'm letting Onyx into the big house. I'm just spending that time in Anamaya, and this is the time I miss before the class.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has had a little fruit, and they're hanging up with their coffee or their tea in the main house. They're getting their mat set up and chatting, and
yeah. I usually plug in the coffee.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one thing I was thinking that this morning. What is it that I miss the most? And it's that time before the class when there's this quiet and the house is so quiet and the view is still, and yeah, it's really beautiful, lovely. So
yeah.
But I mean,
we're making it happen virtually, the best we can.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's amazing. So,
and didn't you find it was interesting too, because our conversations before and after now, kind of like what happens when you meet the whole group at Anamaya too, like all of a sudden we start to get more involved and we chat for longer, and like, the community really starts to, to develop. And then it's like, oh, I have to go home tomorrow? What?
Yeah. What?
What?
Yeah, exactly. It just, there's something about the whole comfort level that it's just there.
Yeah.
Well, I made a boo-boo.
Oh no.
Yeah. I guess AirPods don't charge from accessory plugins.
Oh no.
So I have a plugin that's not iPhone. It's like I bought it at the store. So anyways, I plugged them in last night and then I grabbed them this morning. They're dead. So I'm like, oh no, this one's my boo-boo. So I'm going to do my best, but the speakers on this Mac are terrible, so I can never hear anyone.
Is that the Mac that you used the day this year?
It's raining on top of the day that I don't have my AirPods charged. So how does this sound? Here. So I have to plug in. Okay. How did that sound?
It was low.
Yeah, it was quiet.
But so there was a day that your AirPods weren't working and you were on the upper deck and we could hear you.
Yeah,
it's computer?
I think because I've got this special camera and the microphone on the camera is pretty good, but I think because of the rain.
Oh.
Yeah. So I have a couple ideas because this is the microphone to the camera, and then this is the microphone to the headphones that I'm wearing.
So, microphone to the camera is much better.
Okay. No, and then I also have students coming, so it's gonna be interesting, but I will sit close, and I think my instructions are good enough and you guys have got me enough that you can understand where I'm taking you. And then if I do something that's like kind of difficult, then I'll run and I'll demo it and then I'll come back. I think I got it figured out, but yeah. I'm sorry. I was like, oh man, I can't even blame this on technology today. This one's my bad.
Colynn?
Yeah, I feel like you can bring the computer even closer to your mat and we'll be able to see you easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if we just, because you have us all muted once you get started,
Yeah.
so I think if everyone just turns their volume up to the maximum, there'd be no other talking, and then we'll be able to hear you a lot better if we just turn, because I tried it when you moved closer to the mat and I turned my volume up to maximum. You're still quiet, but I could hear you perfectly.
Okay, we'll do all of that. We'll crank it.
Because we won't be talking.
Fair enough. Okay.
It might work.
I'll move it closer. I'll do all the things. And yeah, I won't need to hear you, so I won't have these guys in. I apologize. Last day, I'm like, no. I was standing there like, what's going on? They're not turning on. I don't understand. So anyways, thanks for rolling with the punches and always being patient. And that being said, let's get started. So come onto your mat, lay down, sit up, whatever feels good. Roll your shoulders down your spine. And if you're laying down, then just allow your hands to rest on the mat beside you. And start taking some nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Inhale, fill up your belly, fill up your chest. And start to feel all of the parts of your body that connect to the ground below you. If you're laying down, that's usually the back of the head, the shoulder blades, the hands, the sits bones, the heels. If you're sitting up, it's quite often the sits bones, the knees or the calves and the ankle bones. And come back to that idea of not only being aware of all of these parts in contact with the ground, but actually experience your ankle bone touching the ground below you. To be aware is different than to experience. So try to move into this space of experience. What does that part of your body feel like touching, connecting to the earth? Think of that work we were doing yesterday, feeling the energy in our hands. What can you feel in the parts of you that are touching the earth, the ground? Today we end. But always with endings are new beginnings. Just like ending with corpse pose, after every yoga class, we always move to fetal pose, the pose of rebirth, the pose of new beginnings. After having carved out time for yourself this week, putting on your self-care hat for these 5 days, what does this new cycle look like for you? And keep breathing. Not only have we all held the space for this time, for this self-care, for this healing, for this quiet, Kelsey and I have also given you tools to move forward with. Take one more moment in self-reflection, quiet.